So what I'm going to show here is I'm going to make a floor panel, and I'm going to use the color swatch that I have provided to block out the colors that will be used in this floor panel. And then what I will do with this floor panel is I will duplicate it using our tiling trick so that I can render out a tiling texture that will be seamless. So first of all, let's have a look at these UVs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Z projection, and I'm going to select everything. So we now have our UV coordinates projected down, and as you can see on the model here, this looks very much like our color swatch. Okay, that's great, but then how am I going to use this? So first of all, let's be completely lazy, and I'm going to convert this back to edit poly, and I'm going to get rid of half the geometry, because why do it twice when we only need to do it once? And let's put on our modifier again, and let's have a look at these UV coordinates. Now I can, because the color swatch is applied, I can open up the map and I can see where these color swatches are on the actual texture, and I can see where my UVs are. So now it's just a simple process of selecting the various faces that I want and sticking them in the UV space on the texture map that gives me the right color. So select a couple of the faces. I'm gonna let's just grow that a little bit. So if I just grab and move them, it's going to stretch the UVs out, which I don't want. So what I want to do is I want to do this tool. I want to break these UVs off, and we can see on the 3D geometry where this is. So I'm breaking this section off, and I'm actually going to be putting this down in the kind of maroon area. So temporarily, let's just select this piece, move it out of the way, and let's go back to this. And I'm just going to squash it down in. Don't have to worry about preserving the aspect ratio. I can even just clump all the UVs together if I want to in a very tiny little point. I'm going to leave them fairly big so that I can see where they are if I need to. So the next piece I want to deal with is this one, and let's see where this piece is. Yep, that will do. So again, I will go in and split this, and I'm going to move this into the kind of the mid-grey region. And I suspect, in fact I want to, another sample split and just move it down here. Make sure that's in the colour. And the rest of this I'm going to put over on the light side. And as I'm doing this, I'm actually thinking about the negative space, because there has to be a clear distinction between the color values of the walls and the color values of the floor. And because of the nature of the space we're dealing with, we need to consider whether we want light walls with a dark floor or dark walls with a light floor. Anyway, okay, so I've laid them out, and I can see what this is going to look like roughly. And I'm happy with that. I'm just going to convert this down into edit poly, and I'm going to put my symmetry modifier back. And again, I'm going to convert this to an edit poly. So what I have now is a very simple floor panel, and this will be the basis for our high poly that we are going to use to bake down to create the actual game ready texture.